Hi, beautiful people. Katria Guinea here, back again with yet another video. And for those who are new here, I encourage you to please subscribe, share, like, so that you can get more information every time that I upload a new video. You're updated that there's a new video for you to watch. Well, I'm back again, like I said, Katria Guinea, USA. And the last video I did was to give you information about the green card application. I posted the link and I received an engagement from a number of people asking me questions. And I said I will answer according to the best of my knowledge. Now, in the last video, I promised you pictures or photos, the appropriate photos that you should use when you're applying for green card. I noticed I didn't do that. And before I talk about what I want to talk about today, which is my story about Australia, let me quickly show you photos. Here are the photos. That's a sample of the photos that you should use. Those are the photos that my family and I used while we were applying for the green card. Okay, those are the photos that the U.S. Embassy recognizes, or the U.S. government as a whole. In whatever place they ask you for a passport size photo, that is what they want. 2x2 measurements, white background. Note, white background. Look at the ears. Angalia masikio ya kila mtu. All the ears can be seen. Facial features are all seen. And you notice the photo is from the shoulders are also seen. The shoulders should also be seen. Facial features seen. No glasses. And eyes. Eyes focused on the camera, of course, like any other passport photo. But look at the features. Maskio, especially focus on the ears. They both should be seen. Of course, for those who wear the hijabs, from the website, when you go to the website, you click the link to apply. Before you apply, there are instructions. The instructions there showing the steps to follow, and also there are sample photos. So these ones I'm just showing you because I promised to do so. But before you apply, once you click on that link, you will see instructions and you will also see a sample photo. So for those who are wearing hijabs, I don't have a sample photo of a person wearing a hijab, but if you go to the link there, before you actually apply, you will see sample photos and you will also see instructions to apply. So everything is there, guys. I hope you're continuing to apply. The link is open all the way to 5th November. I also recommended a young lady who has a cyber in town. She can take your professional photos and do the application for you, of course, at a fee that both of you will agree with, because for her, she's in business and that's it. So you have to pay for her services. But I said also this is something you can do by yourself on the phone, on the laptop, on the desktop. As long as you have a good internet connection and the link is working, you can do this by yourself. So those are the photos. Yeah, keep applying, guys. I look forward to many people winning. I mentioned last time, I recommended to a friend and they won. Do you know how happy that makes me? Because I shared information that actually helped someone. So I said this year, I will not give it to like one person, because I'll not be able to reach everyone. So through this platform, I can reach as many people as there are possible for them to apply. Keep the questions coming. I'm also on TikTok, Katria Guinea. We can interact there. I also did a video with still more instructions and more information. So I'm on TikTok and I'm planning to start going on live sessions on TikTok also to give information and interact one-on-one. But now we are here, so let's keep going on. And I think I might want to sit outside. This is how it looks outside. It's sunny today. The weather is good. So I might as well sit out here and wipatie uhondo ya Australia. I promised that in my previous video. The whole reason why I want to give you guys story yangu ya Australia, is for both entertainment and information and encouragement. So information, entertainment, and encouragement, because I believe I have been on a journey. I have an Australian story and I have a Dubai story, but wacha tuanze na Australia. So the year is 2018, June specifically. That's when I left Kenya to go to Australia on a student visa to go do my masters in HR, lakini sikumaliza. So ni story tu, utafuata tu story utasikia. So how I got to learn about Australia is through a friend whose child I was actually not actively teaching, but they were in our school. We have a school business in Ngumba Estate in Kenya. Behind Garden City, Ngumba Estate, there's a school called Tembokot Bidom School. That's our family business. And that's where I've worked for the last many years that I remember myself starting to work. Initially, when I finished my degree, I worked in a bank for 3 months. Hey, I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. And the pressure, the meeting of targets, I don't think that was for me. So I told my mom, now that I already went to school and I have a degree in business management, na shule ni business, hey, let me come and we do this together. And that's where I worked for the last 20 years of my work time. I've been in that place. So that's where I used to work. Nitaipigia debe. It's a good school, a good environment, a quiet place, affordable. So go look for it. Tembokot Bidom School in Ngumba. So that's how I met my friend, Lois. Her mom is the one who gave me the information about Australia. This is how I got it. So her kids were in our school and her had already moved to Australia, but watoto hawakuwa wamepata visa bado, so they were in our school. And her eldest daughter was in boarding, and she used to have this, I think she was just missing the mom and all that. And sometimes they just used to have those 2 episodes, and tule twenye those who have been teachers, you know, watoto wanakuwa na 2 issues and you want to talk to whoever is responsible to them. So there was this lady alikuwa anawaleta shule, and I told her, I really want to meet the parents of this child because we have to discuss a thing or two. So she told me, well, yeah, mama yao hayuko huku, but the shosho is the one who takes care of them. I said, oh, well, I don't want to go deep into it, but you just tell the shosho I need to talk to her. So 3 days later, the shosho came and we had a talk about the girls. We agreed on measures, on whatever we had to do for that situation. We talked, and then she mentioned that her daughter is in Australia. That's why she's taking care of the kids. So ile tu kuuliza swali, hey, na alipataje hiyo form ya kwenda Australia? Shosho was so nice. She gave me all the information from A to Z, how she got the opportunity to go there, and she even referred me to the agency in Westlands where I could go and apply. Well, it was information that I really appreciated, but I didn't work on it at that particular time. That was way back in 2017 when she gave me the info. It's that information you get and I say, okay, so I have the info, but kind of ni kama mimi, this is not for me for now. I'll act on it later. Or sawa tu, you sit on that information and you don't act on it. So one day, I went to visit my brother-in-law. I think we had like a family gathering or something, and they mentioned when we got there, hawakuwa amefika home. He was with the eldest daughter, my eldest niece. So when they came back, they were like, tumetoka expo ya Australian universities in Westlands. I'm like, oh, okay. So you have an interest in going to Australia? She was like, as you know, these things you just go and get the information. Then now, back of my mind, nikakumbuka haya, there was this lady who gave me information about Australia. Then up or too casually we talked about it. Then my brother-in-law asked me, and why have you not considered that? Akambia, So hiyo tu ni ile information unapatanga na you don't look at it like it's for you. It's like hapana, hey, you should just consider, bado unaweza soma and you can do stuff and you can go there and get opportunities. And they also told us you can take your family, yeah, which is true because you can go there as a student first and then uite familia yako. So we talked about it and he's like, you go think about it. Then that light bulb, like, well, maybe I should just think about it. So when I got back to work on Monday, I talked to my mom about it. Nikamwambia, hey, you know, so and so once gave me information about Australia, and we were discussing it with my brother-in-law over the weekend, and he's like, I kind of should also consider that or think about it. What do you think? At first I didn't think my mom would take it positively because so unataka kuenda uniache hapa na already ulishakuja, we are managing the school together. Then she's like, haya, and you, why haven't you even thought about it? Nikamwambia, sasa nikuache, I live in. She's like, no, I would release you with a clean heart if you got that opportunity. I know unapenda kusoma and you are able to do it. So yeah, think about it. Matter of fact, kesho ukiamka, just go and ask. Go to that agency in Westlands, go find out all the information. Then we see what to do. Hey, I'm like, okay, kumbe it's something I can do. So cut a long story short, I went to Westlands, I got all the information. We went with my husband actually. Hey, my husband has always been my support system. Kusema ukweli, we do things together, many things, everything together. So yeah, we went to Westlands, we got all the information, and he's like, see, you try. After all, see, by then actually he's an ex-military guy, so he had already left the military because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. One of these fine days I'll actually bring him here atupe story, msikie story yake pia. He also has a long story. So yeah, having left the military, na tuko hapo in and out, trying this, trying that. We had a company we had registered. He was trying to bid for tenders, na maneno ya tender Kenya, so yes, we did 1 or 2, but it was challenging. Anyway, so we went, got the information, and we brought it back to the relevant people. That's my mom and my brother-in-law, and they're like, "Ay, Mama Betty, you just take this opportunity and run with it, because you never know, you will open for so many people." And that is how my journey started. So we went, we applied for a school. The school was in West Australia, Perth, Edith Cowan University. So I applied. After a few days, nikapata, I don't know what they used to call the letter. Is it the COE or something? Kitu kama, I've even forgotten. I got the acceptance letter, which meant now I could pay the fee, then start the process ya embassy sasa, because once they accept you and they send you that letter that they have accepted you, you pay the fee now, a whole semester's fee. Nasi pesa kidogo, mamita huko. Yeah, good money. So I was to pay the fee. So the family members, that's my mom and my brother-in-law, they joined hands, fee ikalipwa. By the way, my mom and my brother-in-law, they have always been our support. They have always supported us mentally, emotionally, financially, very important. And so I really appreciate them. I appreciate them so much, and I always pray to them, God awasaidie, because si rahisi pia kupata, mko watu wakubwa, nyinyi wenyewe mko na watoto, you're the ones who should be supporting such people, but they're the ones who are supporting you. I really appreciate them so much. So yeah, fee ikalipwa, and I started the embassy process, every back and forth. It took about, from February, round about 4 months, the entire process. Yes, msijali, hiyo ni sauti ya air conditioner. Yeah, so yeah, 4 months, and the process was over. Then I was ready to leave. Yeah, so you also go for medicals. Once you pay the fee, they give you a letter to go for medicals. You go for medicals. IOM too, for those who have been in this journey of green card, mshakuja huku, tunajua IOM. So for me, I've been to IOM twice, when going to Australia and when coming here in the US. So yeah, excuse me, ask me about it. So nikaenda IOM, nikafanya medicals, nikamalizana na medicals, they were okay, wakatuma results embassy. 2 weeks later, I was told now to go for biometrics. But then with Australia, you don't go to the embassy. Hakuna hukanyagangi embassy. Everything is online. So I went to a place called Nine West, nikachukuliwa vidole biometrics, and I think about a week later or so, I don't quite remember, then I got a letter from my agency in Westlands that my visa is out. But pia I had a very short time between sa ile visa ilitokea and the time that I was supposed to start classes. I think by the time visa inatokea, I barely had 10 days so that I go and start my classes. Actually, I think it was even less than 10 days. So ile hustle, uko na watoto, uko na mzee, uko na nini, vitu zako lazima upange. Although psychologically I had behind the scenes nilikuwa nimepanga panga. I was very positive I was going to go. So I had put most of my things in order so that visa ikitokea pap ni air ticket na kuchomoka. But I hadn't done shopping, so shopping kidogo here and there. So all this time we are in communication with now Shosho's daughter back in Australia, because now I've told her that I'm coming, nimeshafanya process and all that. So we are in communication. She's advising me what to do, what to buy, what not to buy, everything about my journey there. Ukifika airport fulani, there is free Wi-Fi, update us on this. So yeah, so the day came to leave. I had very mixed feelings when that day came. Is this my son? Katoto kangu, my last born son was, I think, 3 years old. Have you ever had mixed feelings like, okay, sawa, najua it's for a good cause, but hii ni ngumu. I'd never left my kids. But ile back of the mind unajiambia, okay, let me just go because it's for their good. And the agency told me nikienda nimalize a semester hivi, I can start applying for them to join me there. So nikajipea tu, nikajikakamua, but nilikuwa nalia tu machozi kirudi ndani. Now my kids, like my son, I think instinctively ilikuwa inamwambia mom is leaving. So siku zingine he was never so much ati concerned, but that day he really clung on to me, like damu yake, akili yake ilikuwa inaomba, hey mom, looks like he come anaenda. So that thing up to date kuna vile tu sometimes you need traumatized too, like it's not a very good experience, it's not a good experience. So anyway, tukaenda airport, all my well wishers, my family, my in-laws, my grandpa, my late grandpa. I loved him so much. I loved that man so much, and he loved me too. So, and by that time I think he was 89 or 88 years. Yes, na alitoka Ukambani akakuja kunipeleka airport. Yeah, I love him so much. Anyway, so nikafika airport, my plane ilikuwa inatoka 3, nikapanda ndege after kulialia na nini na mapicha and all that. Nika check in. My husband will tell you his story. Aniambianga after I checked in and now they had to go back home. I think ile bypass, he had to take my mom-in-law back to Kilimani where my brother-in-law lives. So walipita hiyo bypass ya Kikuyu. Do you know he mixed an exit, like, and he went paka mamake akamuuliza, mama akamuuliza, where are you going? He was like, oh shoot, I think nimepita exit. So he had to come back. Like, it was also very hard for him. It was also very hard for him. He's my husband, he's my best friend, and now best friend yake ameenda, like unajiambia minimum 6 months Johnny muone. We, haikukuwa rahisi. But anyway, tunajivumilia, tunajiambia it's going to be for the better cause. Anyway, back to the airport, nika check in, nikapanda ndege. I was going through SA, Joburg, so nikapita, nilifika Johannesburg, I think it was a 5-hour flight. So I reached there around 7. And then my next flight now to Perth was going to be at around 9 p.m. So nikapanda ndege. Like kucheck in huko ni mara ya first, it wasn't actually my first time to travel. I had been to Dubai, but yeah, it's still a big airport. Umechanganikiwa, hujui uende wapi. Like CJ travel where I'm transferring to to board another flight to go elsewhere. So I was kind of confused, but anyway, by the time I got to the entrance, only had 20 minutes ndio ni board. And I boarded the flight and mimi huyo 14-hour flight. Next day nikafika Perth, nikapata my friend Lois ananingojea. They were with now her other friend, the ones I was going to stay with, because I couldn't stay with her. By that time her kids had already gotten a visa. The girls that I was teaching now na walikuwa washaenda Australia, so singekaa na yeye, her house was small, so she got another friend which was a family and they had an extra room, so I was kind of going, they were going to sublet for me the house, so they are the ones who came to pick me. So they picked me at the airport. Kwa barabara, they used to live in a place called Balga in West Australia, so that's where we went. And I arrived at the house. Leni sasa unastuka, unaona tu na mdomo, kumbe huku ndio majue, kumbe kuna kanga hivi, ni kusafi, yeah. Like that culture shock and all that. So nimefika home, amenifikisha kwa nyumba, kwa load suitcases, tukaingia kwa nyumba. Then ushaishangaa cause sasa umefika, unajiconsider mgeni, but umefika hivi and 20 minutes later watu wote wanakuambia, so karibu, pumzika, chakula ndio hii hapa, this and this, this and this is here, this is your room, stuff, blah blah blah, tunaenda shift. Nashinda, well, watu wamenileta na wananiacha kwa nyumba. And then they told me Charity was now the lady of the house, Simon's wife. Simon was the guy who came to pick me at the airport together with Lois. And so when nilikuwa naenda kwao, so he told me my wife is asleep because she worked at night and she's still going to work at night, so when she wakes up she's going to meet you, but here is food and blah blah. Kila mtu akadisappear na ukabaki kwa nyumba peke yako na wewe ni mgeni. Well, hiyo ndio maisha ya majuu. High chances watu wata cancel shift kwa sababu yako, so yeah, that is one thing that shocked me, na hiyo ndio maisha. So they went for shift, mi nikakula, nikaenda kwa room yangu, first thing nikauliza nini ya wifi so that I could call people back home. Nika log into wifi, then I called people back home. It was still mchana huko because Australia is 5 hours ahead of Kenya. Yes, ahead of Kenya. So you can imagine how many hours they are ahead of us here in US. So about 14 hours, I bet, thereabout. So sisi tukiwa leo, wao wako kesho, walishaenda, wako mbali sana. So I talked to people at home, nikaambia nimefika poa. They were so happy, they were so excited. At least I landed safely, but sasa ka culture shock ndio wako. Well, nikakula and then I just laid down, like I couldn't even sleep actually. Nikatoka hapo nje, nikaangalia, like alafu kuna fanana, everywhere looks the same. I'm like, sasa nikitoka hapa hata sitaki kutembea 2 yards juu ninaona nikitembea nikirudi sitajua kwenye ninafaa kuwa. So I just stepped up out of the door, nikawaonesha the view, then I went back, took a nap for like about an hour. Then nikaamshwa na makelele ya watoto, kumbe they had come from school. This is what happens, like you can't afford a nanny, huwezi afford nanny. I mean, ile pesa unaenda kufanyia ndio unafaa kumlipa. Hata daycare huku ni very expensive. So usually what happens, either kama we ni family, you agree mtu mmoja kwa anafanya night shift na mwingine day shift, ndio mmoja abaki na watoto na hiyo mambo ya picking up and dropping from school. Ama if you have a friend, you agree. Like mimi nafanyanga hizi masiku na hizi na masiku. So let's agree. Mimi nikienda shift, unabaki na watoto, unapeleka shule, unawachukua. And that way, even ndio mnasaidiananga huku. That's how you survive. So that day was Charity's turn. Charity now is the lady where I was going to stay. She later became a very good friend of mine. Like, I always remember her so much. We still talk so much. We can video call and talk hours on end. That's how good we were. Ushaishi na mtu, like unajua vile kuishi na mtu ni ngumu, mkosanie tu vitu hata hakuna. But believe you me, never ever for the 1 year that I stayed in Australia, Charity and I hatukuwahi kosana. Me, I used to meet people in school ananiambia, aki natafuta nyumba mahali pengine pa kukaa. Mtu anani host, mimi hatusikizani for 1, 2 or 3 things. But mimi, I counted myself very blessed because Charity to date she's still a very, very good. The entire family, all of them, they're still my very good friends. Mimi hatukuwahi kosana na wao, not even one day ati tukarushiana maneno ama ile atumekosana sasa tunarudi kuongea tusameheane, nothing. We have always been very good friends. Yeah. So she went, picked the kids. Her older son, by the time I left there, they had 2 boys. Yeah. Austin and Caleb. Caleb was a very good friend of mine too. He used to be my other son while I was there. He reminded me that I'm still a mom. So ameenda amechukua watoto wa Lois na her elder son. So I'm there now, the kids, Lois's kids, wanapata teacher, ndo huyu teacher wao amekuja Australia. So we hugged each other, we told stories, they asked me about the teachers, their teachers. Like we just bonded and reminded each other of Kenya. I couldn't believe that ati nimeland majuu. It was both exciting and shocking, like mixed feelings. Anyway, so we talked, we took a catch up, and then their mom came later. No, it's their dad who came from work and picked them now. And they went home. So tukabaki na, yeah. Then later in the evening, I think that day Charity was not going to work in the evening. So tuka bond kidogo, tukajuana. That was now the beginning. And I told her, me, I'm tired, let me go and sleep. Haya, nikaenda kulala. Next morning, ndo hiyo Lois. Hi, sasa umeamka? I am here to take you to ECU to take you for runs. I'm like, sijapumzika hata? Kwani huku maisha inakuanga aje? Like, there is no time. It is boom, boom, back to back. Nilifika jana. This morning she has come. I've taken breakfast. And by the way, Lois used to be in ECU too. So she was going to give me like an orientation. Remember, I had already come in late, so mi sikupata time ya kufanywa orientation. So she took me around, akanipeleka around. We went in her car. She's trying to tell me this road, utakuwa unaenda na hii barabara, utakuwa unaenda na hii barabara. In my mind, I'm like, stop. Mimi hata sijui ni wapi unaniambia, because everywhere looks the same. Unaonanga vile unaona zebra zote zinafanana. That place looked the same to me. I couldn't even make where or where. So she took me. The school is also so big. Like hata akiniambia tutakuwa unatoka hapa, unaenda kuchukua bus, unapitia hapa. I'm like, okay, maybe someday I will figure it all out. But for now, honestly, I'm very confused. But she had no other way. Lazima tu angeenda kunionyesha. Then that day later, she took me. She helped me to open a bank account. She helped me load my bus card with money. Ndio nikichukua basi, I just tap. Unatap tu kiendanga. So yeah, she prepared me. Then that was on, do I even remember what day of the week it was? I don't remember, but I know I had one more day. Then since I start the real classes. And then hivyo tu by and by, nikaanza kwenda class. Initially, Charity used to drop me at the train station. Ndio nichukue a straight train to ECU, ndio nisipotee. Because she knew for sure singeweza kutoboa na hizo maronda. Tuchukua basi hapa, hii basi hapa ikupeleke train station, ndio uchukue train ikupeleke where you're going. Hiyo singetoboa. So she was really nice. The first at least 1 week alikuwa anani drop train station, naenda na catch train, naenda shule, and then the way back ananiambia ukipanda train sasa unatoka shule niambie. I would find her at the train station waiting for me to enter home. Alafu anakuja akinionyesha, so next time utachukua bus hapa. Sasa wacha niwape story. The first time nilienda na bus on my own. So that day they were supposed to move from the house that I found them. They were going to another house. The lease had expired na wako anataka kurenew. So she was so busy she couldn't come to pick me at the train station. Sasa anajua shanipea 1 week orientation. Sasa nichukue basi niende home peke yangu. My friend, sama kupotea. Like I think nilishuka I alighted 1 bus stop before. And then sasa I'm putting the Google Maps I know the address of the house, but Google Maps it's not loading. I'm trying to read it inaniambia head north. I'm like, where is north? Ni wapi? Nilienda the opposite direction. So hiyo it's winter in Australia by then, lakini winter yao si mbaya kama huku, at least there's no snow, but it's still cold. Very cold. Niko na Marvin, niko na ka backpack, niko na gloves. I think I still that time hakukuwa na mask, so I think I don't know, whatever. I don't want to use to cover my nose with dew. Hiyo time hakukuwa na mask, COVID haiko imekuja. So niko hapo, kunanyesha, kuna drizzle, simu inanyeshewa, sijui kusoma maps na nimepotea. Naangalia hivi barabara, the direction that I went nikatokea kwa highway fulani. By the time nilikuja kujua hizo njia nikajua mahali nilikuwa. I used to laugh every day. But that day I didn't have time to laugh. Ushailia? I cried. And then sasa after nimemaliza kulia, nikaanza kutembea, nikajambia okay, Katui, rudi kwenye ulikuja na hii barabara. Just go back pali ulishukishiwa na basi and try to figure it out from there. Nikitembea hivyo, I'm meeting with another Chinese lady. I asked her, do you know where? I was asking her the name of the street where we lived. She's looking at me like, no, I don't know where that is. Because huko nobody has concern with what street it is or what, you know your place, you go, ukitoka kwako unapitianga hii direction, you don't even bother to read those street names. So she told me she doesn't know. Anyway, I walked back to the bus station mali nilishukia, and then now it dawned on me. It dawned on me, okay, ulishukia hapa, direction ni hivi. So I decided to walk towards that direction. Then ndio nikafika kwa the bus stop that I should alight at. Then that's when it dawned on me, nilishuka a bus stop before. So at least sasa nikajua njia, but ile stress ilinishika. Nikajiuliza sasa huku nilikuja kufanya nini? What did I even come to do here? Kunanyesha, kuna baridi, niko na njaa na nimepotea. I never even told Charity that story that day. Mimi nilifika nikawakuta wanatoanisha vitu za mwisho, nikawasaidia kuclean nyumba. Sasa hiyo unajua bado uko na njaa na bado hawa ni watu hujazoea, kwa hivyo una kale kabaridi kama kugonga, unatamani chai, but not that she would refuse me to take tea, but hata vitu za kupika zimeshapangwa, zimeenda ile nyumba ingine. So nimenyeshewa, niko na hiyo stress ya kupotea, ndio sisi hao tunahama. Ni last minute, tunataka tufunganye vitu zenye zimebaki before sasa kimvua kile kibaya kianze. Kanda, we finished all that, we cleaned the house, together home, we made dinner, we made tea, we ate, then nikaenda kulala. That time I can't even, no, I still spoke to people at home, but I didn't even tell anyone about my episode. Me, I just went to bed and slept. And the following day, now she came back again to pick me because that was a new place. Now I still didn't know the way. She picked me for the next 3 days, but this time I was very, very cautious when she would pick me and drop me from the train station. Sikuwa nataka another episode like that. Meanwhile, I'm still looking for a job. Okay, remember I'm a student and I need to pay my fees, so I'm still looking for a job. Sina training yoyote uko, job pia like any maju, the first job you start looking for ni caregiving. So they gave me the tidbits of where to look for a job, do this, then they advised me endo ufanye course ya first aid kwanza, and then there was a course ilikuwa inaitwa manual handling that we used to go and do, ya kukufundisha kutumia hizo Hoyer lift and something like that. So that when you go for an interview, you don't look like you don't know what you're doing. But I'm telling you, hata hiyo job utajulia huko mbele, kwa sababu I don't want tu shortcuts tu. Unajua Wakenya mahali wako watu kosangi mradi za kujua vile tutasurvive. So there was not even time ati ya kwenda like an official school endo ukajifunza hizo vitu. So ile orientation tu hapa, ukienda fanya hivi, ukiona akifanya hivi, do this. And then now she recommended me to an agency she used to work for. She used to work for an agency before she got her second baby. So she called this guy, the manager of the agency, akambia, oh, I have my sister, she just came here to Australia and she needs a job. And then his name was Andrew, a white guy. He was a very good guy, by the way. So he called me for an interview, nikaenda nikafanya interview. I did an interview at 11 a.m. and by 4 o'clock that evening I was already being called, hey Ruth, are you ready to go do your first shift? Roho ilidunda ikadunda. I'm like, I have never even done this, but anyway, sawa tu, mimi uanga roho juu. So now this time Saimo, Charity's husband, is the one who dropped me. Nikaenda huko job, nikampea tu address, akani drop na akaniambia, since I'm not working this evening, ukitoka job juu shift yako inaisha 8, utanipata tu hapo nje. Aki mimi, these people were just God sent. God sent. Akani drop shift, nikaenda nikafanya shift ya 4 hours, then he came to pick me in between the shift. It's my first caregiving job. To blunder tu hapa na pale. Guy, paka that I was working with a Filipino lady. She looked at me straight in the eyes and asked me, have you ever even done caregiving before? Roho ikaenda kwa miguu. Nikamwambia, no, I just finished my training. No wonder you're making all those many mistakes. He, najiuliza huku ni kwa kina nani nilikuja. Anyway, sawa tu. So I made all the blunders that I made, and then I continued. Saimo came to pick me. When I went home, I gave Charity the story of the blunders that I did. Hang on, nasikia mtoto ananiita. What?
Sisi nilikuwa nimevaa tu bedroom yako. Nikakuja ku open iPad yangu, si ndio?
Okay, we'll deal with that later. We are going to talk about it later, Mason. He's talking to me about his iPad. I don't know what it has happened. He broke it the other day, and I think right now it's broken because sasa inaonesha zile lights za rainbow. Anyway, hiyo nitadeal nao baadaye. So where was I? Nikaambia Charity mablanda zile nimefanya. Me, I had never even changed a brief. Tunaitanga brief, tunaambiwa tusiziite diaper, but actually tu ni diaper. Sikuwa nishai change mtu mkubwa. What? Kumbe you're supposed, if you, I will not even go there. Just know nilifanya mablanda. So I went and gave Charity the story. See, alinicheka. Aki, she laughed at me so hard. Akaniambia, anyway, welcome to the club. Huku hata ukienda shift upatane na Mkenya one day, muulize tu shift yake ya kwanza alifanya blunder gani. We all have our first day blunders at work. And I came to realize it's true, because one day I went for a shift with another Kenyan guy, tukapatana huko kwa shift. And imagine he was the first one to ask me, so siku yako ya kwanza, shift yako ya kwanza, juu sasa naona unajua job vibaya sana. But then nilikuja nikakuwa pro caregiving, we wacha tu. Then he asked me, so wewe ushaifanya blunder gani? So I told him the blunder that I did. He laughed at me, of course. Then akaniambia, sasa mimi wacha nikupe yangu. Yeah, his now was very funny. He told me kuna hizi vitu zinaitwa shower boots. Zinakanga kama ka shower cape, na we unavaa kwa viatu when you're giving somebody a shower so that you don't get your shoes wet. So he's given shower boots sini mbili. To him, hizi vitu akashindwa, sasa hawa mbona wananipatia shower cape mbili? So akavaa moja akavaa moja kwa kichwa na hiyo ingine akavalisha resident kwa kichwa, na ni shower boots anafaa kuvaa kwa viatu. So mtu mwenye walikuwa anafanya kazi naye akaingia asked, what are you doing? Those are supposed to be like, they would always tell you are green in this job, because the blunders that you would make, my friend, kabisa unajuza wewe ni mpya kwa hiyo kazi. So I really laughed at him, nikamwambia bwana, hiyo yako ni kali, kwa sababu hata afadhali mimi I didn't know how to change the brief, so nililalisha huyo resident kwa kitanda kama mtoto mdogo. Kumbe there's a way you're supposed to make them stand in a way, and you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, so that is it. We all ended up getting good experience. You learn hands-on. Tulipata experience, nikafanya hiyo caregiving hiyo na hiyo agency. Nikaanza kupata to job. Then I used to have this friend of mine back in school. Sasa shule is another story pia. Umeenda shule, the teacher is from, I don't know the lecturer. Kwanza hiyo ni class economics. And the lecturer is, I think, from Sheikh. Uski accent. Mimi mwenyewe maths maths wa hii side, mimi kuanga hii side ingine. Sisikii accent yake. Naona tu anafanya figures kwa blackboard, watu wanajibu, tunaangaliana na friend yangu. My friend from school was Carol. She was a 24-year-old girl. And I used to make such good friends. She's still my friend too. Up to this date, she is still my very, very, very good friend too. We still talk. So tunaangaliana na Carol, kirui wangu, tunaulizana, sasa huku sisi tutaokota nini haki. Anyway, tunajiambia bora tunajua sisi hii kukuja shule was by the way, huku tumekuja kufanya kazi na kutafuta maisha. So we saw this another Asian guy. It was his first time. I don't think it was his first time in the class, but he was seated next to us. And tukaambiana na Carol, now we are talking in Kiswahili, tuchukue huyu jusi hawa wanajuanga hesabu akwe group yetu. Oh yeah, we had been told to work in groups of 3. So we decided wacha tumchukue akwe kwa group yetu, akwe at least anatueleza hizi mahesabu. And then tukaenda discussion. Kumbe sisi ndio walimu wake. Yeye kwanza, afadhali sisi ni kama tuko hapa kwa beach. Yeye ako deep sea. Hizi vitu washiki. Then tukiwa library tuna discuss, akaenda choo, tukaangaliana na Carol, tukaulizana sasa kumbe pia sisi ni machopi. Kumbe sisi ndo tunaonesha muhindi hesabu, na we thought they were the ones who are good in maths. Anyway, I came to realize these vitu ni individual. That's just a stereotype. It's an individual thing. But anyway, we know they are good in maths, like they are good in business, but that was an assumption. Anyway, that was the beginning of a trio friendship of me, Carol, and that guy's name was Vishal. We ended up being good friends. We even used to go out together. Remember, I'm the older one of all of them. What are they in the 20s? Mid-20s? Me, I was in my late 30s. But we were very good friends. Like, I would call my husband and namwambia, wewe mimi ninapeleka watoto out. And naambia ndo wapeleke, go have fun. I know right now that's all you can do because of zile stress za kumiss watu home. That was another thing. I'm here to get there. Yeah, so in school, Carol and Vishal were my friends, and we still had a friendship outside school. Would meet, go out for lunch, tunazunguka tao hiyo ya path, tujui kule tuko, lakini tunaenda, tuna hop into a bus. Buses there are free. Unaingia tu, there used to be red cat and blue cat. Sijui red cat goes through this route in town, blue cat goes through the other route. So sisi tuna hop tu from one bus to the other. Tasema hiyo siku wacha tu tuzurure tujue hiyo town. Another day we just go take the train yenye inaenda the farthest point of town. Tunaingia kwa train, sisi hao tunaenda na train, inafika mwisho, and then tunarudi nayo inaenda hii mwisho ingine, like maisha ikuwa rahisi. So we just used to look for things to distract us. So now I got a job, I'm working, naenda shule, nimeanza kuzoea maisha. I can go to places by myself. I got a second job as a home health or home caregiver. Sasa uendi kwa facility, you go to people's home. Unaamba from this client to go to this client, you go to this client, you go to this client. Na sina gari. Sasa unaenda shift na basi. Shift place unafaa kwenda na 15 minutes, basi ina take 2 hours. I did it for a short time. Nikona hii maths hapa ni minor, so I let it go. Sikuendelea nayo. So now I've already gone to school and I've already started working. Nimeanza kujua maisha, naweza jipeleka shopping, naweza jipeleka from point A to B. Then I got to a point that I was able to get my first car. Niliuziwa na now the family, Simon and Charity. They sold me the car because they wanted to upgrade, and then I told him badala ya kuuza hiyo gari to some other person, and I have an initial down payment, I'll give you this and then the rest I can be paying you pole pole, na wewe you can go get another car. And that's how I got my first car. It was like a Mazda, a saloon Mazda. It was a nice car. It was a really nice car. Ilikuwa na kingoma where it became my companion now sasa, because I would go with it everywhere. It now became like a person. I started treating it like a person because that's how I would spend most of the time going to school, going for shifts. I'd drive even 45 minutes somewhere na huko kwa milima nikienda shift because now I could go anywhere because I had a car. It was a very nice car. Haikuwa inilalisha kando ya barabara, nothing. And it wasn't new. When I left Australia, I left it for Caro, my friend. Juzi hata last year, was it last year? She took a picture and sent me the picture of the car and told me, bado niko na ile gari. Even after getting a new car, this one I'm not selling. The memories of this car are something that I don't want to let go of because I told her, I'm giving you this car. Mimi haijaini lalisha kwa barabara, haijaini simamisha kwa barabara. You've seen it, we've gone to so many places with it. And hata yeye, even for those many years after I left her with the car still was a faithful baby. Bado alikuwa nayo. If I get the picture of it, I don't know, I hope I get a picture of it somewhere someday.